Hi, everyone. I'm Angel Truesdale. I'm the Social Sciences and Business Librarian, and I would like to show you Simply Analytics today. When you come to the page, it's just simply app.simplyanalytics.com for the URL. You can log in here or create an account, or you can sign in as a guest. I recommend creating an account and logging in. Simply Analytics is a software web-based application that allows you to create professional quality maps that layer demographic, business, and marketing data. The big benefit to Simply Analytics is that it has highly localized data, and we'll look at that a little bit later, and the ability to search right down to your home address. So today, hopefully, we will learn how to navigate the platform, create projects, and what data sets are available to you, and then how you can answer some of your research questions you may have in this class or other classes. When you first log into Simply Analytics, one of the first things it will ask you is to provide a location and to set a different seed variable. Here, if you look at the top here where my mouse is, where my cursor is, I'm looking at median household income for 2021 in Mecklenburg County, North Carolina, and I'm looking at it by zip code. You can clearly see that with the dark navy blue here at the top here and at the bottom, that there are some income discrepancies within Mecklenburg County. So we call this the wedge down here and the crescent here. So what Simply Analytics has done is it's mapped out the different areas in Mecklenburg County based around median household income. First, let's come over to our legend here and click on Edit. You can see you can change your color scheme at any time. I like to use the blues and greens here so that we can have a little bit more variation. You can also change your ranges down here as well to make them custom, or you can do them up here, the classification method, and do them by quantiles local or national. And it's usually best to do them by quantiles local. You can do natural breaks as well, equal intervals, and then again, custom intervals. So that is the legend here. So that is one thing that you can edit. Over here to the left-hand side are your panels, and these are three things that you can manipulate for your map here. So if I click on locations, instead of looking at Mecklenburg County, I can also look at Charlotte. So as you can see here, the yellow outline changed to the city of Charlotte instead of the Mecklenburg County. And I go up here to the top, I can go back and do Mecklenburg County as well. Let's zoom out a little bit, and you can see that yellow line changed back to the county lines as well. If I want to, I can do this by zip code. You can see 28213 is outlined in the yellow here. And because I'm doing this by zip codes, this has one value for that entire zip code. Now, for locations, we can go down to the zip code level, and zip codes are determined by the Postal Service. We can actually get a little bit deeper, like I said, highly localized data in Simply Analytics as well. And that can come from these different census tracts and block groups. Census tracts are determined by the census. So every 10 years, we try to count every person in the United States. And that actually helps us to get information down to the neighborhood level. So census tracts are for neighborhoods. So you can see that different outlines that we're doing this by census tract now. And so you can see that we have different outline of this entire zip code, but you can see that the different values change depending on what census tract or what neighborhood we're looking at. You can also go down to block groups, which is street level data. And again, this is determined by the census tract as well. So you can see even down to the street level, how much median income there is, depending on what our legend says here. So for this 28213 zip code, looking at the street level data, you can see kind of the income, the varied income levels that we have within here. All right. So that is locations. We can look at North Carolina as well, the whole state, and we can break it down by counties. We can even look at the United States. And that will be broken down by counties, or we can break it down by states as well here. So you can see in the darker blue, the navy blue are the higher income levels here. All right, let's go to the data portion of the tabs we have over here. So I mentioned earlier that when you log in that you have to pick a seed variable, and those are the most common variables that you'll see in SimplyAnalytics. That is represented by this popular data tab here. And if you click on any of the different categories down here, it will pop up two more panes of information. So the category is popular data, and you can see one of the top things that people are looking at is population. And then you can do it population based on sex, age, and so on. So you have a lot of options when you're looking at popular data. The other categories, population, age, race, ethnicity, jobs and employment, poverty. But I want to point you down here to two categories that are going to be really beneficial for you in your studies here. We have something called market segments and consumer behavior. So when we talk about demographics, we're talking about age, population, kind of one or two characteristics about any given subject. But when we look at market segments, we're looking at different things for that particular person. So the database or the data set that we have in here is from MRI Simmons, MRI Simmons Local to be exact. And what they do is they create these mosaics of different people, and they get very specific with how they describe the different people. So let's look at this kids in Cabernet. One of the things that you want to be aware of is that each variable will have a number sign or hashtag sign next to it, and it will also have a percentage sign next to it. So the number sign is count. So how many people do we have of this segment in a given area? And then the other one is percentage. How percentage of the people in that total area do we have? So I'm going to click on percentage here, and I'm actually going to click on these three dots first. These three dots, and then I'm going to click on view metadata, and then it will give me this really nice definition here. When you are citing your sources for SimplyAnalytics, this is where you're going to get your information. So you click on those three dots, and you click on view metadata, and that is how you get your information. So right here, we have prosperous middle-aged married couples with children living child-focused lives in affluent suburbs. And we even get a further explanation down here. Kids in Cabernet are middle-aged couples with children living a wealthy suburban lifestyle in their homes valued at more than twice the national average. Their neighborhoods are havens for college-educated white-collar professionals with well-paying jobs in the sciences, education, business, and finance, and so on. So we have that information here. We have that it's from 2021. We even can see down here, this is from a survey in fall 2020. So once I select my variable here, I get a nice checkbox, and it's kind of a little bit counterintuitive, but once you click on that checkbox, you can click the X here, and you can see kind of where these folks are concentrated in the US, but I'm going to do this based on Mecklenburg County. All right, I'm going to edit my well, This is interesting. Our kids in Cabernet, oh, because it's doing it by states. Okay. Always try to check where things are segmenting up here, what section, because we want to do these by at least zip codes when we're looking at different counties. So we don't have a lot of kids in Cabernet in our general area, but the way where we do have them is a little bit further south of Mecklenburg County down here, which makes a lot of sense because that's where some of that wealth is concentrated. We have a little bit here in kind of the Myers Park area, and then a good chunk here in Ballantyne, and then along the Lake Norman area up here as well. Let's go back to market segments, and I just want to show you some of the other areas that you can look at. So we have picture perfect families. We're going to do the three dots, view metadata. These are established families of child rearing households living in wealthy suburbs. We also have family funtastic. Click on that view metadata. These are upscale middle-aged families with older children pursuing busy kid-centered lives and satellite cities. Let's come down even further. We have boomers and boomerangs. So that is baby boomer adults and their teenage young adult children sharing suburban homes. We have cul-de-sac diversity. This is ethnically diverse middle-aged families settled in new suburban neighborhoods. Let's check that one out. All right, so we have some of those neighborhoods, again, just kind of southeast of our area here in Mecklenburg County. And then in the southwest portion of the county along Lake Wiley, we have some of those cul-de-sac, diversity cul-de-sac areas. And keep in mind, this is a survey, so not every area will have these different options, but you can use that here. So I just want to show you those market segments here that you can use to look at different things in the area. I'm going to hit done here. All right. So one other thing that you can look at, I'm going to go back to median household income. One other thing that you can look at in terms of your map view is you can map different business areas on top of what you're looking at here. So we have locations, we have data, and then we have businesses. We can type in the different titles of a business like Home Depot, but be careful because sometimes you could type in Home Depot and get the different Home Depots here. That's pretty unique title for a business, but be careful because sometimes you could type in the word Lowe's and you get Lowe's food stores, but also Lowe's home improvement. So just be mindful of when you search for different things, it may only search by the actual title and you get different ones. So I suggest using the browse by business categories here. You can use SIC and NAICS codes here at the top to find, but you can also browse as well. I'm going to use the search function here and click on and try to find breweries. So you can see I have a breweries and the count is 2,581. So that is actually going to be total in my database, but within these areas, the actual determined breweries are the few that we have pulled up here. This is from a business directory that is from Dun & Bradstreet. And so this is not exactly accurate because I believe this is from a few years ago. So something else that you can do is come over to browse business categories and you can type in something like alcohol. So we can do drinking places, alcoholic beverages, and you'll see we get many, many more places here. So 39 in this one area, 2 in this area, and so on. And again, if we zoom in, we can get down to street level. and we can pinpoint exactly where these businesses are. We get even a location here with the zip code here. So just keep that in mind. We can map one thing on top of our data here. I'm going to pull back out and just see if we see any trends. We have a lot concentrated uptown, right? Or in the center of Mecklenburg County. A lot of concentration of people and a lot of concentration of drinking places. All right. Okay. All right. So every time you create, every time you map businesses on top of your data here on your map view, you do, if you come over here to the right-hand side, you do create a different view, and that's going to give you this businesses directory that you can print out as an Excel file that you can take with you. So it does take a while to populate because we do have so many in that list, but you can see we get company name, the actual business name, the street address, city and state, our zip code, the line of business, latitude and longitude even, and more down here, our NAICS and SIG codes as well. All right. So I keep talking about the map view. That means we have other views that we can look at. And if you click on new view up here, you can see all of the different views that you can look at this different data. So I like to show the comparison table because it will show you different things. So I've looked at Charlotte before and Mecklenburg County, and so maybe I want to compare the median household income and the percentage of house educational attainment, high school graduate. Now I'm showing that the median household income for Charlotte is $63,000 as opposed to Mecklenburg County, which is $67,000. But the educational attainment of high school graduate is 16% in Charlotte, so less income, higher educational attainment for high school graduate than Mecklenburg County as a whole. If I come back over to my locations here and I do North Carolina, I can add that to my list. I can even do the whole country as well. So in a way, these are in order from smallest to largest, but I can actually take this column and drag it here and put them in a different order as well. And this view is a table, so it will download as an Excel file pretty easily as well. So that is the comparison table if I want to compare different things. Here is another comparison table that I want to show that has alcoholic beverages consumed at home and alcoholic beverages consumed away from home. And if you look here, I've actually charted out a census tract. That's why we have the CT here. So census tract 5604. We also have a zip code 28262, the closest zip code to campus. Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, and North Carolina. So as you can see, a lot more income, a lot more of money spent, expenditures have been spent at home on alcoholic beverages here in this census tract. So 113,000 as opposed to 54,000. But that 54,000 is still pretty impressive and may even help determine where to put the next drinking place or brewery or etc. So you can see there's a lot of comparisons here between the two numbers here for our zip code. At our state level, at our city level for Charlotte Mecklenburg, not that much of a not as big a difference as we saw in the census tract. And so on for Mecklenburg County and then for North Carolina as a whole. So that is a lot more of that kind of consumer behavior data that we have in this database. So alcoholic beverages at home, alcoholic beverages away from home. And again, if I click on the name of this here and click on view metadata, I get the information I need to use in my citation. And you can see kind of this comes from the consumer expenditure estimates data set that was created by SimplyAnalytics using a small area estimate techniques. It gives you all that different information and where it comes from at the bottom here. All right, so that's another comparison table. If we do a ranking table, we can see different areas, different locations ranked by a certain data. So right here, I have medium household income and I have locations here as the zip codes. So if I come down here and I say, I want to reverse sort order, these are the poorest the poorest zip codes within Mecklenburg counties, because we're looking at top 100 zip codes, Mecklenburg County, by medium household income. So if I was thinking about putting certain businesses and different things in certain locations, I may want to go in a low income area, but I may also want to look at higher income areas as well. And maybe I can look at the map previously what we looked at, see where there may be intersections of different incomes, and I may put my business in certain locations there as well. So that is the ranking table. We also have a quick report. A quick report is automatically created for us no matter what. When we are in SimplyAnalytics, it takes the popular data we talked about a little bit earlier and it maps it for at least the city and county that you're looking at, maybe even more locations. And again, we can switch these around if we like, but you can see population, sex, age, race and ethnicity, income, education, language, citizenship, and housing. So they pulled together this nice quick report of some demographics in any given area. And you can, again, go back in and add in North Carolina and the US and all that good stuff. So it takes it a minute to pull all that data together, but it is beneficial when you're looking at certain areas. And so I may want to resort that so that North Carolina, which is the state, is the bigger geographic location. I'll put it right there. That is the quick report. The ring study table will give you information based on a 1, 3, and 5 mile radius. So what if I'm talking about the percentage of age under 5 years old from 2021, and I'm looking at the zip code 28262. So within 1 mile radius, I'm looking at 4.7%. I'm looking at 5.4% here, and I'm looking at 5.65% within 5 mile radius. So percentage of kids under 5 years old, 5 years of age from 2021 shows me just how much we're looking at toddlers and infants in any given area for this particular zip code. I can look even smaller and look at a block group, which has this BG here, and it'll tell me within a certain mile radius of that street level data for this particular variable as well. That is the ring study table. We already talked about the business table. Related data will actually give you a lot of information based on one of the data that you've already looked at. So I'm actually going to look at Charlotte, North Carolina, and Mecklenburg County, and 28262, and I want them to show me all of the information or all of the data that is related to alcoholic beverages away from home. So once I do that, I'm going to come up here and hit done. And so it will do alcoholic beverages away from home, beer and ale at fast food carry-out, delivery, concession stands, buffets, and cafeterias, beer and ale at full service restaurants, away from home wine, so I can compare the wine to the beer and ale here. I can look at certainly so many different variables that are very similar to the one that I have selected. And this will give us another idea of what different data I may want to use for my project. Again, click on the title of that, view metadata, and it will give you the details of where that data comes from. And again, this is how I would find out information for my citation. All right. So that is related data, time series table. And again, all of these tables you can look at you can download in an Excel file. And actually, I will go back and show you how you can download your map in a second. So I'm going to clear all here, and I'm going to look at Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to look at median household income. And what this will do is it will give you any time or year that is for that particular variable that the database has, that SimplyAnalytics has in the database, it will give you it back to that particular part. So for median household income, we have this going back from 2010. So I can say in 2010, the median household income for Charlotte, North Carolina was $52,446. If I come up here and I go down to 2021, which is the most recent data we have, it is now 63,746 and 60 cents. So we can talk about how much this income has grown over time and how prosperous this different this city has grown in median household income, and it even will give me a projection. So I have for 2025 and 2026. So I can even speak to the fact that it dips a little bit once we get to 2025, but then it comes right back up over that 2021 number, that real number in 2026, and it comes back up to 65,000. So these are projections, and so that is information that they have based on the data they have over time. All right, that's your time series table. A location query is basically if you want a particular data point for, or you want to look at different data points for a particular location to see what is the best location to potentially put a business or to just look at different things there. We also have a histogram, bar chart, and scatter plot that you can use as well, but I won't be going through some of those. Just know that those are available to you to look at different variables in different ways. I am going to jump back up to our map just to show you how you would be able to export that. And this is how you would export your tables as well, but the map has a few more customizations you can make. I'm going to come over to my legend first, make sure everything is looking where I want it to be. And I'm actually going to take off the drinking places just to show you what the map looks like without that. So at the very top here in the right-hand corner, we have export. And what it does is it loads a preview for you, and you can customize several things from this point on. So you can see that this kind of pane I have here, I can move that around. I can even kind of drag the corner up and down. So I can move that around. I can even come over here to the left and go portrait because Mecklenburg County lends itself a little bit better to portrait than landscape. And then at the bottom here, I'm going to continue to my layout. I have other options here to customize. I can take my legend and pop that down into the bottom corner. I can even make my legend dark over here. I can even make that bigger if I wanted to. So if I wanted to kind of have it pop up here, I can even change the size of it from there in pixels. I can change the width and height. If you come back over here to the left, I can change it from letter to legal to tabloid size paper. I can put the scale bar in here, and so that's, ooh, I'm dragging the picture now. I can put the scale bar out of kind of into the white down here. And I can do an inset map, which shows you what part of the kind of state or another general location where that is. I can also do a north arrow, which again, I can drag that up here as well. So you have a lot of options with the map view here. And something that I always encourage students to do if you're using the map as your data visualization is you can download this map, pop it into Canva, and put your header on here, put some more explanation, put your citation underneath there, and then pop that into your marketing plan and into your PowerPoint slides. So once I do that, I'm going to show that I want it as either a picture file, a PNG, or a JPEG, or I might want it as a PDF. And you can email it to yourself or you can save it to your computer and it will download for you there. All right, so that is mostly what I have for you for Simply Analytics. If you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I will see you in future classes, so definitely reach out to me if you would like. Have a nice day.